most people here are producers. You want to know how I mix my beats. So let's jump right in. Yes. I want you to pay attention to something very, very, very important here. So it's not just to say, oh, let me just bump in and start adding effects. What you should understand here is how I box my drums. You need to organize. In fact, that is one of the most important things. Don't just rush into mixing. How I organize my mixing. As you can see, I have drums and I have melodies. So always box elements that you know they work together. These are my melodies. I call them melo. So always work them like that. Always box them, organize them that way so that when you are mixing, you know, okay, I'm mixing. This is my formula of mixing. This is my workflow. That is one of the most important things. So workflow, you stick by it. So if sometimes I want to box my rolls, I will box my rolls, then later bring them back to the drums. I'll box them separately, then bring them back to the drums. But this one, I'm boxing all the rolls, the drums together. So for the sake of this video, let's go in quickly. You want to look for the overhead instrument, those light instruments that complement the drums, that like complement the snare. You want to look for them. Like this one. So you just want to pan them a little. So you just pan them just for it to give that snare a little bit of space. So from what I can see, the producer already did a little bit of panning. So you just do a little bit of panning here and there, you know, just to make sure the middle is, you know, okay for the snare to just be there, and your vocal and your kick and your bass, just create that space for them to create a kind of weight for the drum too. Now, what I need you to pay attention to is the type of kick you are using. The type of kick you are using. For me, sometimes if I am mixing, I turn off my kick. If I'm mixing, I turn off my kick. Because sometimes kick can be very, very trickish. You know why? Should I tell you why? The reason is that you must have a very deep understanding about speaker. The most important element when it comes to music making is speaker. It's just like somebody who is deaf doing music. Can a deaf person do music? It's not possible because you cannot hear what you are doing. So this means speaker is your most important thing here. When you are making music, your ear and your speaker. I will turn off my kick. So this is another sub. I turn off my kick. Sometimes I'll color my kick red to be sure that is the kick. Then this is another sub. Anything low end, I will turn it off. I'll turn that low end off. See, so that is a big sub. Yeah, kind of sub drum. So I have to turn it up. Sometimes I'll have to color it. Maybe, yep, orange. Just to be sure these are my low end. And then I will now start, you know, playing around it. Just to balance it. So after hearing the drum for some time, then I will now bring in the sub first. You just want to hear how your percussions and your drum, your snare sounds before you bring in the kick. Yeah, I think 3 is okay for this sub. Yeah. Okay, I think the kick is okay. Let me just reduce the kick by -1. Okay, I think it's okay. Now, one thing you need to know about kick is you should be very careful about different type of kick and how you should hear them. like this type of kick now, it has that knock, it has mid-range, so I would definitely hear it. I should hear it, because if you look at the frequency of the kick, look at it, you see it has a bit of, it's hitting this area, so it has a bit of this area, see, it has a bit of this area, it has here, can you hear that? So it's a very light kick, so to say. It's not like that heavy kick, that kick that has that big sub. So it's a very light kick, so definitely you're supposed to hear it. Then if you know that your ear is not that good, another way to test it is by touching your speakers. Okay, make sure at a very mixing level your speaker is not pumping. Make sure your speaker is not pumping. Make sure it's not pumping. If it is pumping your speaker, if your kick is pumping your speaker at a mixing volume, mixing level, it means the kick is too high. So don't just use what you are hearing. Make sure you touch your speaker and see if it is pumping, like pumping. If it's pumping, pushing your hand, it means it's not balanced. You have to reduce it until you are feeling it. You can hear it, you can feel it, but it's not pumping. You know that, oh, it's balanced. So okay, I think we have something to play with here. Okay, now the next thing is to go to the groups. And when I'm doing this, most times I do them with playing the melodies. So now I go to the drum group. My first thing with the drum group, this is what I'm doing. Listen. This is what I'm doing on the drum group. If you see now when you now talk about mastering, this is where it starts from. You said, oh, my drum, when I master the drum, my song is too quiet. Even if when I compare them, it's too quiet. Now, this is where it starts from, my guy. You can see the inconsistency of the drum. Look at this thing, the inconsistency of this drum. You can see it. You can see the inconsistency of the drum. Can you see it? It's not everything. Some are jumping because some instruments are hitting, so it will now boost the frequency. So if two instruments hit together, another thing hits, maybe three drum elements could hit together and it will boost the transient. So that is what you want to maintain, so that, okay, at this very particular threshold, which is about 10 minus 10 dB, so don't pass that 10 dB. Make sure nothing past that 10 dB. Whereas even if 5 elements are playing together, my guy, don't pass here. I don't want you to pass here. Do you get? So you're trying to level out the drum, so thereby making it more bigger, stronger, and coherent. So another thing I do is I add a bit of saturator. So I add a bit of saturator just to add nuance, just to add color to it. It's not doing much. Then another thing I do again is to add, to bring the drum back to life, is to add a limiter. I can't mix without limiter, never. Just a bit. See what the limiter is doing. Can you see what the limiter is doing? The limiter again is just trying to make the drum coherent again. That's what the limiter is doing. Just to make it fuller, bring out those nuance in the drum. So another thing, because I have level out the drums, the drum is now like this. There's no transient now in the drum. Now the drum is consistent, but there is no transient. Listen what I'm doing with this guy, compressor. The drum is supposed to have transient, right? But because many elements are playing together, and if many elements are playing together, maybe kick, conga, snare, one overhead stuff is playing together, hitting together, it will spike the transient. It will spike the peak. Sorry, it will spike the peak, which is what is happening here. Sorry. Which is what is happening in some area. Listen to some areas. You can see this one now. Look at this. Look at this one. You see the spike here. The spike is too much because many things are. Look at this one. The spike is small because many elements are playing together. So I'm bringing this now to bring back the transient again. So after using those limiter, the clipper to, you know, maintain a certain level to chop up the peaks, I'm not going to use this compressor to bring back the transients, to make the transient, you know, cut through the mix, so that the drum will not feel as if it's buried inside. So this one will not bring back the transient for it to pop out, for the drum to pop out in the mix. And you don't just do them, you have a goal, you have something you are working up to. You can see what I'm compressing, about minus 3 to 6 dB is what I'm compressing. I'm bringing back the transient. And look at my attack. You see, I'm letting out the transient. I'm letting in the transient before compression. So this is a way of bringing back the transient. You see, and I'm using auto makeup so that to make up with the gain, to bring back it. So you can try, don't use my plugins, you can use your plugins if you want. But if you need my drum preset, I can just do it for you with just little recharge card token. Again, this thing is bringing back, adding color and the rest to it. It's adding color and, you know, it's adding color to the drums. See, look, let's see. It's barely compressing about 1 to 2 dB. So the drum now is very consistent. Now it's very, very consistent. You can hear almost everything. You can see my release settings. I'm releasing it very fast to bring back that transient. So now, see, now let's see what I did now. This is a corrective EQ. After doing all the adding every gbogbo, I had to come here and what am I hearing on the drums? Is the drum too bright? Is it lacking something? Do you get, is it lacking something? Is it too bright? So I discovered that the drum was lacking a bit of mid-range because of the choice of instrument. It was lacking a bit of mid-range. And it was too high, like it was the high end was too much. So I had to reduce about this frequency 8, which brings me back to perception. It's what you perceive, what you are hearing. It's like, oh, let me do this, let me do this. Now, because of the inconsistency, now that is for the drum. Now let's go to the melodies, individual tracks, individual channels. Now, this very one, let's color it. Let's color it this color. Let's see this color. So this very purple color, if I'm correct. So because you know this very particular guy is very inconsistent. He's jumping. So this we add again, controlling dynamics, which is your peak, is mixing, controlling your peaks. Make sure the track is coherent and clean. Everything is together. Everything is popping. You know, is together. That's mixing. It's full. And another way to make your track full is this. So now I want to control the peak. You know, this is not just a limiter. When you hear the name limiter, it's limiting. So don't let this thing pass like this. Once it passes like this, squash them together. Bring up the lower part and bring down the higher part while retaining that coherent, you know, aspect of the sound. So because it's not, if you look at the waveform here, You can see it's not consistent. I had to use this one to just try to maintain a certain, you know, threshold and peak for it. You know, preparing the track again for mastering. So yeah. Now let's go back to the pre-chorus. Now, this is the string. After getting my volume right, this string. Now, let's see what I did on this string. Let's see what I did. Let's see what I did with these two things here. These two things. Let me color them. If you look at my this channel of this string, look at something inside. Filter. Now let's off it. So it's having this bright shh. I had to control that shh because don't forget, I had earlier maintained that the track is too bright. My drum was too bright. So having this shh again on that high end is going to make the song light. It's going to make it light. So when you are trying to control the high end of this string, you are adding depth to the song. Instead of, see what that guy is doing. Now let's take a look at this guy. So the two now, they are like playing together now. Now another string comes in again. Let's see what we did there. See? So it's not like a body of instrument. It's not like something is missing. It's not like close. Now, this synth came in just about the same time. This guy. Can you hear? This is a synth plugin. It can synth sound. It came in. And I felt having 1, 2, 3 things playing together almost on the same frequency. Look at this guy. I had to EQ out a bit of the high end again. Now I said, these 3 things are playing almost the same time. What do I do? What do I do? I had to pan this guy to the left. I left this guy at the middle. I pan this first string at the left. Then I pan this string to the left. Then I left this guy, this sound. Don't forget, it's a major playing there. That was why I left it at the middle. So it's already kind of wide. Again, know what to leave and what to touch. This thing is already kind of very wide. If you look at the signal, you see, look at it, it's wide. Look at here, this area, you see, it's anything you see doing like this, it means it's very wide. So let's go back to this synth. Because the synth was kind of, you know, doing something I don't like, I had to automate. Look at this automation here. Now, let's take a look at what the automation is doing. Look at here. Take a look at this place. So it will now move. See, it will move to the left, to the right. It will be moving across the mix, so it will not really disturb, but rather it will be moving creatively. It will be moving intentionally as if, oh, this person knows what he's doing, and it will not really disturb anymore. Because, you know, synth plugins, they are very big when it comes to, you know, instrumental. They come out very big. So I have things like this. You don't even need to touch these guys. This one. You don't need to touch them. So we have something like this. So after mixing everything, you now, if you have to, now come and reduce anything here. maybe you feel like, okay, let me come and reduce the melody, it's too high. Overall, you balanced everything within the channels, right? Then overall, you just, okay, let me, balance out what is left. Let me just, I think the drum is too low, I think the drum is too high, you get. So you now listen, go to the chorus and just play through. To the melody group, I came again and controlled. You see, I controlled it very subtle. You go to the, when you want to do this thing on the group, which is the melody group, you go to the highest part of the song where you have all the instruments. Don't go and do it where you have one instrument. So it's going to, when by the time it comes to where it is, instruments are many, to now spoil the old stuff. Go to where you have many instruments, like the chorus. Go there and try to, look at it now. Try to control the peak again with this guy. Look at the settings, very pretty much. You can use any limiter, not just subjected to this, but for me, I find this very transparent and fine and good. So again, you come here, as you can see, what am I using these guys to do? I'm using this guy to create space for the vocal. This EQ now, corrective EQ again, I'm using it to create space for the vocal. And here, this is the body of the vocal, like base of the vocal. So I'm trying to create another space for the body of the vocal again. Do you get? So this is just a guide. This is just for this song. If you use this formula, it's going to go a long way. This is just a formula. So you can, there's no one way to roam. So you can just use this as a guide. It's okay. So if you create space, you might end up creating space like this. You might end up creating space like this. It depends on how your instrument is. Do you get? I'm not scared to move things around. I can come back and listen to it and just play around with it. Do you get? You get? By the time I bring in my vocals, this is a full song with vocals, but I don't want to play the entire song because this is about how I mix my instrumental. So you see it? So if I feel okay, this my drum again is too harsh, I can just come and play around with anything I want on the drums. I can come here and just play around with it. As you can see on this drum again, I reduce a lot. I filter add a lot of the high end because the drum was just too high. Because I understand my speaker, I know how it should sound. I remove a lot of the high end because it was way too much. So let's remove it and see how it sounds. See? So I had to remove those, just filter at it again to add depth to it again, because the more you reduce the high end, the more depth, the more perceived depth you feel. Do you get? So, and why am I making this decision? It is because I understand how it should sound on speakers, how the song should sound on my speakers, because I always play other professional mix song on my speaker, so I know how it should sound. It must not be exactly the same, but I also play my old songs that have been released that I feel, oh, they are really competitive, they are good on the speakers again and again. My old song that I feel it's been released, so I know how it should sound. So when I play something that is outside like that, that's off totally, I know the problem already. You might feel, oh, this song is light this way, but once you add vocal now, you see everything will level up. Everything will level up. As for mastering your beat, you just don't need to do much mastering your beat. You just EQ it a bit. This is mastering. It's still the same formula. Go and look at my mastering video. It's still the same, nothing different. Just master it. Don't let it be too loud. Should not be too loud. For beat, minus 14 LUFS is okay. -14, -12 LUFS is very okay for beats. You don't need to make it too loud. Then you can see. Let's see what we are hitting on beats. We are hitting. See? So you can use your headphone to see the magic we did here. So yes, that is for that. You can ask me any question as per the mixing. Maybe I forgot to mention something. A lot is going on here, as you can see. So just use it as a guide to follow up. As you can see, the drum is popping. Even if I decide to say, okay, the drum is too high, let me reduce it. I'm just using it for example, drum too high. Even if I reduce it, because of the formula of mixing, the way I chop up the peak, the way I bring back the transient, it will translate. It will, you know, cut through the mix, because that is the essence of the drum. The drum is supposed to cut through the mix because it's a transient element. You get